You're related
Manya,
to.
so
You have to talk
actually, I was
louder
a
so they can
learner.
hear you.
They all have to hear?
Yeah. No, we have it all on
Manya,
the
learner. Sobel.
Tell them how you're related.
I'm married to Max Sobel, but 53 years ago we came here, and if not for all these people here, their grandparents and great-grandparents, none of us in my family would be here. And I will never ever forget it. And I want to thank you all for being so kind and being so wonderful. Thank you.
Well, we love having you.
And I do remember, however, when we came, that Nan was at the boat, and I think Izzy was there, and Abe was there. And I remember my first impression was, what good-looking people my relatives are.
Tell us
my mother's favorite expression. The learners and the Weisses are all beautiful. Beautiful and handsome. She was right.
Now, I would like to relate a story when I came and I started high school. And my cousin Fanny, which is Marilyn and Bobby and Norman's mother, took me to the high school, introduced me. I didn't speak English, and if not for her, I would have been totally lost. And that's another thing I will not forget.
Can you tell us anything about your Aunt Frida, who was our grandmother?
Well, when we arrived, we went up to her house, and she had the electric toaster there, which I had not seen before, and made us toast. I was eating toast for hours. I'll never forget. And I was very, very excited because she was my very first and only real aunt, since my mother had no brother or sister. So, and then I met Uncle Louis, which was a brother, and I just was very, very happy to be here.
Tell something about your parents.
My parents, it was hard for them. My father came first in 1938, and we followed a year later. The boat turned back on the way, thinking we would never make it, but it then turned around. And I'm trying to remember. It's 53 years ago. We also...
That was from Strasbourg, right?
No, it was
What was
called
town?
Rheinbischofsheim near Baden-Baden.
Near Baden-Baden.
Yes.
The Rhineland.
Yes, the Black Forest
Black,
area.
okay.
Right. And my father, when he came here, I know that Izzy took him around to look for a job. And my father, being always a well-dressed man, took him up to the factory, and they looked at him and they said, "We can't give you a job. You look like you own the place." That I remember.
There's another story, if you remember. He was in New York,
yes.
and he saw the learner stores, you know, they're still in business. Maybe they'll relate. He walked in, and then the boss invited him in, Mr. Lerner, and he chatted with him. You know, no relation. He thought maybe get a job. He chatted. So he went in. I'm also Mr. Lerner.
That's right. It hadn't helped us get off the ship very early when we were embarking. And they read our name, Lerner. We said yes. Oh, Lerner Shops. We said yes. They said here we go. And that was it.
How did your father happen to get to Germany?
Well, he was in the Russian army to begin with. Then he
Before the
managed
revolution.
to get out. Was the Russian Revolution?
Before the revolution.
Oh, before, I don't know. I wasn't here. But he moved to Berlin. He lived in Berlin where he learned tailoring, and he got interested in the jewelry line. And from there, somehow along the way, he met my mother, which was practically in another country. And they were introduced, and that was it. Yeah. So it was an interesting background, but it was hard for some of us. And I just came back from there. I was over there.
How was that for you when you went?
What's your reaction?
Was a
What's your
lot.
reaction?
Very, very special to me. I used to call it tant.
Tant
When she heard the
all
word
the time.
tant, she... the world, you know.
How was it
Manya,
for
what's
you
your
when you
reaction?
went
What's your
back?
reaction
Well,
of
this-
returning?
Oh, well, this was about the 5th trip, so I hadn't been for 10 years. And I finally cut the apron string. I told Judy I was always homesick. And now this trip more or less clear. I did it my way. I'm free and this is my home. It's been my home for a long time. So it was interesting, to say the least.
We were very happy to have you here.
Much about my Uncle Philip. My Uncle Dave, my Uncle Louis, my Uncle Bernard were all wonderful people. But my Uncle Jake, he was something special to him. Because he was more like a regular guy. He was more formal.
No. Okay, Norbert,
Okay,
here we
I
go.
told all the good story.
No, sit down, Norbert. Sit down.
Well,
We don't want a speech, we want a story.
Tell us a story about when you came to
It's a
America.
seminar.
Well, I
say.
think you picked us up off the boat.
I was with your father.
And I was driving home in the car, like this, looking out the window. You're probably driving in New Jersey. And they asked me, why are you doing this? I said, I'm looking for the skyscrapers. Because that's all I ever heard about America, is that they talk fast and they have skyscrapers. That's true. And when I came to this country, there was no one to teach me how to speak. So I whistled for 3 months with who I thought were my first cousin, Norman and Bobby and Marilyn. I whistled, right? And that's why I don't have an accent. Nobody tried to explain to me what the words mean. So I just imitated the sound, and that's the way it works. And they put me into the first grade. I was 9 years old. And all the teachers from the other classes came to watch this boy who sat like this. Because that's what I had to do in the German school. I never moved. And when Christmas time came, I had to go in front of the class and sing. You know, I just came from Nazi Germany. Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. I enjoyed it. It's my only singing experience in show business. The one with the real stage talent was my sister, Gerda. Until I heard Manya speak today, and there's a hidden talent the whole time.
Can you tell us a memory of your Aunt Frida, our grandmother?
She made a cake that was two different colors.
Checkerboard.
Checkerboards. And to this day, when I teach mathematics, to this day I do not understand how that can be done. But it does taste very, very good. Very good.
Yes, I remember that cake.
She made it first.
That's funny, the memories that you have. That's great, okay.
And she loved to play.
Courageous. When I
Norbert's
was in
mother,
the Army,
Fanny.
I came home on leave once. Now my mother was afraid of the sight of blood. When I hurt myself as a boy and I was bleeding, I wouldn't go home. I have to wait till it healed before I could show it to her. But one of her friends was seriously ill, a Mr. Pins. And he was in a hospital.
Not Arnold
And so
Finn.
when I came home from the Army, he said, hurry up, go to the general hospital, you have to give blood for Mr. Pins. So she signed me up, but her blood she wouldn't give, but mine I would. And about a year later, half year later, there was Crystal Night. And that's when the Nazis had the first open pogrom against the Jews in Germany. Now in our village, we had a synagogue. And the synagogue was tended by a lady who was not Jewish, who lived upstairs. So they couldn't burn it down.